What? Đã coi chỗ cảnh đó chứ được.
Girl, và
Ngay của bụng tay bà. Chả đưa chứ từ. Một con ngay cái đứa. Ta giúp ở lại đi. Oh, what? Huh?
Hey, is this ZeWei?
hi, yeah, it is.
Okay, I don't have much time for this, but I really need to tell you something.
Okay, what's up? We haven't talked in a while. Are you all right?
You are going to be sent a message.
Okay.
I don't know how it's going to come. It's some sort of prophecy, and I think you might be familiar with how those kind of
Yeah. I'm looking at one right now. I assume this is a different one to the one that I've got right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I can't tell you what the message is about. It's some kind of warning.
Kind of quá
You're
nè.
just going to need to pass this message
Oh.
across the multiverse somehow.
Okay, yeah, this sounds like something that I did with Rhea a little bit earlier. Is it similar to that, or like...
Yeah, probably it'll have to go beyond your little network or
Yeah.
something. But
Okay.
you don't need to worry about that. What you need to do is translate that into the language of some other culture and pass it to them.
Okay, so
You got it?
Yeah. So this is basically like exactly what I did with Rhea earlier, right? Like,
Don't ask me how it works.
okay.
With any luck, it'll eventually end up where it needs to go. Just wait for the message and pass it along.
Okay. Wait for the message. Am I just supposed to sit here? Like what? Ah! Hi, I'm fine. It's pretty short. Probably too short to make a song out of this time. It says, "A castle sits upon a hill at the confluence of the great rivers. Its kingdom will be prosperous and grand, and its power felt throughout the region. But beings will come through the shadows to destroy it. They seek something within the keep." I've translated it into Babip because I'm here in 28L right now. If you're interested in learning how the entire language works, I have a whole video about that right here. But long story short, Babip is an exclusively subject-verb-object, head-final language that is very analytic in its morphology, outside of marking noun classes in a largely regular system. Its grammar includes a 6-tiered noun class hierarchy based on perceived intelligence, as well as direct inverse alignment and a number of switch reference conjunctions which often fill in for pronouns. I've included all the grammar and vocabulary necessary for the next person to translate this text over at legatiportals.com, which you're welcome to read through. That's linked in the description. Actually, wait, who am I sending this to? Oh, LANRU. Hell yeah, I love their work. They'll be linked in the description too. So yeah, there's a couple things that came up when I was translating this text, and I'm very curious to see how they end up getting interpreted. Firstly, there's a couple compound words in here, such as law building for castle and law wall for kingdom. These aren't going to be explicitly stated in my dictionary per her request, so she'll have to figure out what those might mean. Generally, Babip doesn't have a copula, especially in sentences where a locative copula would be used. The grammar I've sent her does state this, but the first sentence says the castle sits upon a hill. And I don't know, I feel like there's kind of an element of grandiosity and poeticism that I'd like to emulate here. So I've used the verb da, meaning sleep or rest. Like, the castle rests upon a hill. The word wada means grand and great in this text, but it can also mean wide or vast. I imagine it might get misinterpreted since there's no context here to disambiguate if the rivers are grand or wide. A big thing that might trip her up though is the word which is normally a switch reference marker meaning and then, along with indicating the subject of the conversation has changed. When put after a subject though, it no longer acts like a switch reference marker at all, and instead indicates a theoretical timeline that may happen. This of course will come up with the text kind of being a prophecy. And even though this is in the grammar notes, I can definitely see it possibly getting misinterpreted and switching around a bunch of subjects in the text. Oh, and this is probably my favorite thing about this translation. To say someone is prosperous, Babip says they float in metal. Metal and money share a root word, as the concept of wealth was originally associated with coinage. So that's where this idiom came from. And finally, I don't really know what the beings are supposed to be. They could be anything from ravenous beasts to like a highly advanced alien cult. They could just be a few average guys with a plan. I don't know. This ambiguity is pretty notable because those 3 types of beings would take different words in Babip, and I'm just gonna have to pick one without knowing the context. Generally, the medium intelligence option is considered the default, so I suppose that's what I'll go with. So yeah, the message also says this is supposed to be the first video in a playlist. It seems a bunch of other YouTube people are taking part in this as it gets passed along, so please do check it out if you want to see where this goes. As for me, I've got a bunch of other projects to catch up with, so I will see you soon.
nạt người đưa chưa quải bia
Dạ, lại cái đáp đó bọn em cả cục ngu dài bỏ đi như con bướu bỏ đi rồi đó. Giờ bạn có còn đó, nó có giúp tay khởi quá chịu quá đó. Đã đi cho quên đó chém chập ơ. Chịu, đã chơi cho ta chó ba đội tư tỏi y để có người con tay chờ đó.